live over there. And recording. I need to start recording here. Recording. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to day 2. And request everyone to please mute if you haven't muted. You can unmute if you have any questions. All right. Yogena chittasya padena vacham phalam malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakaroktam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankachakrasidharinam सहस्राशीर्षं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतंजलिं हरिः Om. Okay, so yesterday what we spoke about was the nature of our body. So our body is made up of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, which combine to form the three Ayurvedic humors. So what is called as kapha, pitta and vata. Now, what is important to understand is that the kapha, pitta and vata, they are in a certain amount of balance. Okay. So if you test, so what I will do is the course is supposed to end tomorrow, but I will extend it by one more day on Thursday. I'm trying to put together everyone's result and generically try to give you a feedback what you need. Okay. So that's the plan. So you can try to answer the question. So should we do it on Thursday, or do you think we should do it on the weekend so that everyone gets enough time to answer the questionnaires? What do you suggest?
I prefer weekend.
Weekend?
No, weekend is
Thursday?
not good because
Weekend
we
is
have
not
other
good. Okay,
commitments.
Thursday. Okay. All right. Everybody's saying Thursday. Okay. So I'll do Thursday because all that questions you are answering, I'm getting the results, I'm getting the feedback, but I need to compile it. And in order for me to discuss, like, it's very difficult to do it individually. There's a lot of things I'm preparing for the class and doing so many things. So Thursday is okay. Thursday we'll meet again. Okay. And by the weekend, I'll send you the certificates. Okay. Yeah. All right. Majority is Thursday. Hmm? Those who are Sunday, we can definitely talk on Sunday if you're interested. Okay. All right. Now you have to know, in Ayurveda, you have to understand kapha, pitta, vata. Then you need to understand. Today will be a very extensive discussion. You should be really open to learning, and we will discuss Agni, what is power of digestion. How does Agni act in your body? We will also discuss the different types of Agni, how digestion takes place in the body, the 5 types of digestive pitta, and we will also discuss the process of disease. We will also discuss the 7 dhatus, the 7 tissues of digestion, the sequence of digestion. And then we will discuss how these dhatus, when not formed properly, they actually cause disease. How you become diseased. Okay. All right. So let's open the presentation. And here it is. So Agni is called the fire of digestion. Now in Ayurveda, interestingly, This digestive power is called divine. It's called Vaishwanara Agni. It's a divine blessing of the Lord. Because in Ayurveda, it is explained that your duration of your lifespan, the duration of your life, it depends on Agni. So we say God willing or divine intervention or your karma, so to speak. So because of your divine blessing, so you have this power of digestion. So it is spiritual. So what it means is, it also gives you a meaning that don't abuse the body. Like we like to abuse the body by eating like junk food, parties, binge eating. Just using the word divine makes you think about what you really want to eat. It makes you think about what is best for you, what is healing for you, what is beneficial for you. So that divinity, sacredness to fasting, to eating the right food. Like, for example, in Japan, they drink some healing tea, and it's like a whole ceremony just drinking that tea. So, when you eat healthy, divine, sacred, so all these aspects are combined into this understanding that when you eat healthy, like in computer language, we say gigo, garbage in, garbage out, right? So similarly, in when you eat healthy, you become healthy, right? So that's how it goes. Now, this fire of digestion in the navel area, it also corresponds to the Manipura chakra. Okay, it also corresponds to the Manipura chakra. So when we do a chakra meditation, so in my upcoming Mudra course, the new book, I have added more deeper understanding of how to activate this, how to focus on Manipura chakra. So all these things I have explained. But Manipura chakra is your solar plexus in your navel area, and the element which guards this chakra is actually the Manipura, is the fire element, Agni. So Agni guards your digestion. Okay. Now digestion, you may think it's just physical. Actually, digestion is also mental. Because many a times they say, I heard a class and it went over my head. Right? You heard that terminology? So somebody talks to you and you don't get it. Right? So that's called mental digestion. You need to have power of digestion to actually grasp what somebody is saying. You need to grasp the concepts. You need to grasp it. You need to heal it. Okay? You need to completely digest it within you. Right? So when you digest, then see, for example, in Bhagavad Gita also, we understand knowledge, right? We understand knowledge. I'm not this body, I'm soul, I'm Atma, spiritual knowledge. There are so many things. So understanding that is called knowledge. But when you digest it, when it becomes a part of your intellect, when it's digested, when it becomes a part of you, that becomes wisdom. So the word that is used is called vijnana. So the raw knowledge of whatever you try to acquire is called jnana, whatever you try to understand. When that becomes processed, so that is also a process of digestion that is called as vijnana. Vijnana means the digested information, wisdom. Okay. So now, uh, okay, I don't know if I skipped. Okay, here. So basically, in our digestion, now these are some terminology you need to understand. Okay. Um, you may not be able to by heart it or remember it right away, but just understand. And then you can watch this. I'll send this presentation anyway. You can go over it and study it. So first is Jataragni. So Jataragni means your main fire of digestion. Okay. Now this digestion is your core, is your main digestion, Agni, in your stomach. Now this is where all your hydrochloric acid, bile, all these different digestive juices, all these come in and they begin to digest. Okay, Jataragni. Then Dhatu Agni. Then your food that is digested, that goes to a digestive cycle of 35 days. 35 days before you have what do you call as uh, the final product of your digestion, that is ojas. In ojas, so 35 days it takes, and I'll take you through that cycle of 35 days, what happens. And then you have bhutagni. So bhutagni is digestive fire of elements. So elements is earth, water, fire, air, ether, to keep these elements in balance, right? So suppose you are dry, all right, you go to Arizona for a walk, right? Or you come to Las Vegas and you go to the Grand Canyon for a long walk, and by the end of it you are dry like a tree, like fig. Then your body triggers a heat to try to get more moisture, or it tries to protect your body. When it cannot, it breaks down. So it needs to maintain the balance of the elements. So that is called as the digestive fire of the elements. So good so far? Any quick
Yeah,
questions?
I have a
Jataragni?
question.
Yes.
I have a question about the Bhut Agni. I don't quite understand that
Bhuta
last one.
means, yeah, Bhuta means elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So at any given point of time, your body needs to maintain the balance of these five elements. So it can also be a sensation of hunger and thirst. Okay. For example, your body is low in water, so it triggers a Coca-Cola moment, right? No, it'll trigger a thirst. Oh, now I need water, right? Your body says you feel thirsty, and then you end up drinking water. So similarly, when you are hungry, so of course that is the main digestive fire, but also sometimes you feel low in air. So your body triggers, for example, if you are very weak, low pressure, you need some exercise, pump up your body, right? So each element is also maintained. Earth, water, fire, air, ether are maintained. Their balancing concentration is maintained. Okay. Are they subsets? They are independent yet dependent. It's like your post office, my post office here in central Las Vegas. So we have 10 post offices in Las Vegas, say. So one, if something is shortage, if something is short or supply shortage for one post office might have enough for some time to hold the shortage, but overall everywhere else there will be some shortage, so they will try their own mechanism to, and if they need, they will trigger a help from the other organ. So your body is independent and interconnected as well, right? So your body tries to deal every issue locally first. When locally it cannot do it, then it takes the help of everything else. So overall, okay. So we see that all these three agnis, these powerful agnis, are interconnected. Okay, but they are independent as well. They carry out their own functions. Of course, this I can do each of these classes. You can have like so much to study, but here we are doing a basic course. But if you understand this, how this works, it's good enough. Okay. Now, the pitta, the digestive fires. So they expand as pitta. So pitta, um, the digestive fire expands to digest and give you different functions of digestion. For example, the sadhaka pitta. Your main digestive pitta is pachaka pitta in the belly. Okay, that is called pachaka pitta. But there is also in your different parts of the body. For example, in your liver, there is something called Ranjaka Pitta. So Ranjaka Pitta, because your blood from the bone marrow is sent to your liver, and liver is where all your blood is formed, generated, and also oxygenated. So liver is the center of your energy. So that part is called as Ranjaka Pitta. So the main Agni expands as Ranjaka Pitta in your liver and giving the color red to your, that's why it's called Ranjaka. Ranjaka means coloring. So it gives you the color of the blood, that is red, the plasma that is yellowish, whitish, white blood cells, everything is colored by the liver. So that's why it's called Ranjaka. Okay. Similarly, around your skin, everywhere around your skin, there are receptors that digest and give you luster in the body. That is called Brajaka Pitta. Okay. Now, another interesting thing where your digestion takes place is also your eyes. So that's why it's called Alochaka Pitta. Every night when I sleep, I put ghee on my eyes because I use computers so much and my brain starts to boil. So what I do is I apply ghee on my eyes, and when I wake up, all that um, troubles in the eye, the brain. So we make this ghee especially in our cultured ghee. So we especially make this ghee. I put it on my eyes because eyes not only are about eyes are Agni Tattva. Remember, eyes perceive form, Agni, a form. It's perceived by the eyes. Not only that, eyes alochaka. The word alochaka means it is thinking. Your eyes have the power to think. So that's why when you're eating something, you don't want to watch some gross things. Or some people use phone when they are eating, right? One hand phone, one hand eating. And then you pass through some reels and some crazy thing comes up and you are like irritated, right? Your eyes can make you, it digests stuff. Your eyes digest, okay? Looking at something, it makes you desire. Which ghee you put in your eyes? I sent you that cultured ghee. The one I sent you. Yeah. Hmm. So that cultured ghee you can use
Does that
in
ghee
the
have
eyes. Huh?
herbs in it? Does it have certain herbs in it?
No, no, no. This one is the cultured ghee. So the cultured ghee is especially we make it on the full moon. What we sell the regular without the herbs, but this ghee actually on eyes we are making another special one that is for eye problems. But for general health, you can apply this every night. Even my kids, we apply it to them every night.
It's called
It helps
Gliam.
in their vision. Gritam cultured ghee. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Gritam. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gritam. It's on our website. Yeah. Do you apply to eyelids? Yes, I close the eyes and I massage it on my eyes. Okay. Interestingly, ghee enhances the digestion and ghee enhances the power of the eyes. Okay. Because eyes are pitta. Okay. Then sadhaka pitta, emotional, intellectual, your heart, sadhaka. So your heart is the emotional and intellectual center. There is also avalambaka kapha in your heart. So if you have long standing rivalries, emotions, that is all in your heart. So that is why there is a heart attack. When your emotions go beyond a certain level of lack of control, then your heart, you have a heart attack. Your heart becomes very weak. Okay. So you so this sadhaka pitta combines with avalambaka kapha and it makes your intellectual and emotional. So when this pitta is out of balance, so that's when you are emotionally, like it takes a long effort on our part to actually imbalance these uh, doshas. So each dosha, answering to that question, each dosha can get individually imbalanced as well, right? Like for example, you are sitting on in front of the computer for long hours can affect your eyes more, but can also affect your digestion to a certain degree. But definitely it affects your eyes more. So there is an overall effect in the body. Anything that happens, for example, if something happens to your hand, Now that has an effect to the entire body. I can't practice yoga, for example, if I have a pain in my hand. It affects my overall body, although the problem is with the hand. So anything that is localized can eventually affect the whole body. So Ayurveda, that's the thing, that everything begins locally, and when not corrected, it gives you a problem in the entire body. Okay. So these are how the digestion takes place. Okay, sadhaka pitta, your emotional pitta. Okay, so in your heart, digestion. So digestion is not just the food. Digestion is also what you consume, what you think. For example, if you are very angry, your liver can overreact. There can be excess pitta in the liver when you are angry. So if you are angry all the time, so if you are watching news all the time, then your Ranjaka Pitta will be completely out of balance. Mhm.
Did you
So
say,
Alojaka Pitta, your eyes. So if your eyes are not clear, your digestion is also affected. In fact, in one of the symptoms of diabetes is your vision is blurry. Okay, your vision becomes blurry because your digestion, your Agni, your digestion is severely affected. All right. Now let's go to the
I'm sorry, Yogi, do you mind repeating that? The digestion is not only food, but it's also, is it thinking and what you see?
everything. So when you talk about digestion in Ayurveda, or what you call ahara, ahara means food. Now we think ahara means food. Ahara is not just food, but also everything that you have in your emotional, in your heart. For example, somebody just insulted you. Okay, can you eat? You can't,
Mhm.
right? You are thinking about how do I, get back to him, something like that. But if
Sadhaka
somebody
pitta.
invites you, hey, dude, I like you, I'll sponsor you a pizza. Okay, so you are
Sadhaka
like,
pitta is heart, na?
he spoke
Emotional and
with
intellectual.
such love. Okay, somebody's mic is on, please.
Surah,
So so what happens is that somebody invites you with great love. You are like, oh wow, I have to join this person, right? So your emotions affect your digestion. So the emotion that you cultivate, for example, if you watch a horror movie, can you eat peacefully? No, right? So it kind of affects your digestion. It produces a lot of toxins in your body. So what it means to say is everything that you do with your senses affects your mood and eventually your digestion. Because when you eat, you should be happy. Never eat food when you are emotional. Never eat food when you are angry. Ayurveda says. Okay. All right. Is this visible, this slide? Should I explain? Can everybody see this? Okay.
yes.
All right. So let me expand this slide. So, so here's the thing. So food, once you eat, it becomes rasa, or the first digested matter. This is called as plasma, rasa. Okay. Then this becomes rakta or blood. How long does this take? 5 days. So once you eat for 5 days, that feeds your plasma or that transfers. So everything that you eat, it's feeding your plasma. By the way, once you eat actually one full meal, your liver saves up enough for the next 24 hours. So literally, you eat once in a day, you have enough reserves in the body to sustain the next 24 hours. You can survive with a smaller meal, post the bigger meal. Next is rakta, blood. So formation of rasa to rakta is 5 days. So gradually all the plasma in your body So at every moment, all these are taking place. At every moment, your plasma is being converted to blood. But what is eaten in one day, one meal, so that takes 5 days to be converted fully into blood. Now, blood, it feeds the next bigger organ, that is your muscle. Okay. Now, when we were talking about Dhatu Agni, this is the Dhatu Agni. So, to transfer or transform rasa to rakta, to blood, so there is a fire of digestion. Okay. Then blood to muscle, there is another fire of digestion. And from muscle to fat, there is another power, another Agni of digestion. Now, from fat to bone, there is another power of digestion. And then there is Majja. So, after 15 days, literally you come to muscles. 5, 10, okay, 15 days fat, then bone. Okay. So it becomes bone. So fat, this fat is not the bad fat. Okay, this fat is the all your nerves, brain, nervous system, your cranial nerves, your all important nerves, they are all fat. Okay, the neurons, they are all made up of fat. So that is why ghee is the most important food for the brain and your nervous system. So that is why eating ghee is so important. Okay, and then you have that is, if you are vegetarian, ghee becomes more important to you, because some people may ask that in the Western society they don't use much, so they are directly eating meat. Although karmic wise it is not considered very beneficial, but although it has everything that you need, but that is not advisable because it increases rajas. The purpose of life is lost, that is spirituality. But in Ayurveda, when you eat vegetarian, ghee is considered the most important food. And that fat converts into bone, bone converts to bone marrow, and that becomes your, finally it becomes 6 drops of semen. Okay. And if this semen is not used, or in case of women it's the ovum, if it's not used, then what happens? It converts into ojas. Now when it's converted into ojas, the spiritual energy, it helps your digestion strongly. So those who misuse the body, those who lose the the virya, semen, abuse, and then what happens? It affects your digestion eventually, because what you end the cycle here, the virya, the ojas shakti, actually diabetes, thyroid is all weakening of the ojas. Your ojas becomes very weak. So you have to gain your ojas by diet, lifestyle, exercise, sleep. Now you can lose ojas not just here, but also you can lose ojas by overwork, by too much stress, too much emotional disturbance, relationship problems. So one can lose ojas just about anywhere. At any stage of the digestion, if you mess it up. For example, if I don't sleep, now I'm a good guy, I'm living in a church or a temple or a mosque, I'm a spiritual. And what happens? I'm very good, but I don't sleep because I believe that I need less sleep. Okay, who told you? Okay, but that your body can take it. So just one of these things, if you have an imbalance, it can create a problem. Okay, I didn't realize that slide size was a bit small. Sorry about that. I'll writing this, but all right. So any quick questions right now? Everybody got it? Can we see thumbs up, thumbs down, side thumbs, whatever, are good? Okay. All right. Let's see if you can. Okay. If yeah, I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay. All right. That's good. So now, could you mention the number of days for transfer? 5 days for each. 5 days for each. Okay. Causes of liver disease. We'll talk about disease right now, and then we'll talk about specific diseases. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Next one. All right. So now let's go. Before you go to liver disease, let's look at why do we get disease according to Ayurveda. All right, here's the thing. So it's called Prajna Aparadha. Prajna Aparadha means Prajna. Prajna means intellect. Once you're born as a human, ignorance is not an excuse. For example, if a child touches fire and he says, "Oh, I didn't know the fire would burn me," fire doesn't forgive you, you will be burnt. So, ignorance of the laws of nature is not an excuse in Ayurveda. You will be punished. So that is called as intellectual mistake. So Ayurveda, it says most of your diseases are due to your intellectual mistake. So one of that is also karma. So last life you did some karma, some mistake, because of which by heredity, by your birth itself, you are prone or are already deceased. That is something you need to understand, identify. It leads many people to their quest about why this happened to me, what should I do to correct myself. So the first reason Ayurveda says we get deceased, of course, we discussed Prajna Aparadha. The sub part of it is not living the life meant for a human being, that a spiritual life. So we should lead a healthy spiritual life according to Ayurveda, a healthy. Now when we live in spiritual life, for example, many devotees, like even our Hare Krishna devotees, many people we speak to, we see that we do not understand our nature and act according to it. So we are used to eating heavy carbohydrates. For example, every feast, every festival, every program is just rice, wheat, rice and wheat, pizza, puri, potatoes. It's all this heavy stuff. But your body doesn't require any of that. Beyond the age of 21, your body doesn't require carbs to survive. Okay. You need actually proteins and fats. You need healthy proteins, healthy fats. So many people, they do not realize what is their bodily nature, what is in balance and imbalance, like kapha, pitta, vata, which is in balance, which is not in imbalance. They are not aware. Nor many people are aware what is right for their body type. So what happens? They don't understand this and eat something that builds up what is called as building up of the disease over a period of time. And at one point of time, they already get cancer or diabetes or something. They realize, oh, I shouldn't have eaten this all these years. Like, for example, today's rice. Today's rice is almost equal to sugar. But most of us are habituated, like Asians, Mexicans, we are all habituated to eating rice. And that is causing the problem. Now, many kids are getting diabetes because of eating processed food, right? So, eating what is not according to one's nature, not understanding your nature, eating foods that do not digest well, they build up toxins over a period of time. Overusing your or underusing your organs, overusing your organs. Like there was one case documented of a Taiwanese teenager who was playing um, what game is that? Video game, right? PS5, whatever it is, group game, online. And he was trying to win a tournament and he was playing for 24 hours. He had given up on his sleep and he was continuously overstressing his body. His body got overheated and he had a heart attack. So overusing your organs or underusing your organs or sleeping for like 16, 18 hours. I know people like that, and how the body becomes then useless after a certain point of time. Not adapting to a seasonal routine and not having a good routine. So these are all the causes of diseases. Okay. All right. Let's take a poll. Okay. How many of you think you fit in any of those categories? You can share, no problem. Then it's a good idea to correct it. How many hours of sleep do we need? Your hours of sleep depend on your work. So if you are working, slogging physically hard, then yes, you need more sleep. But if you are doing yoga, pranayam, then your body doesn't need so much sleep. Depends on your physical or muscle tiredness. Your muscles need to recover fully. That's the point. Okay, Arjun had a question.
So I
You'd
was
raise-
just raising hand for what you had asked.
Oh, you raised hands. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. So, how many of you? Let me put this on group mode.
Yogi, I'm sorry, you said we don't need as much sleep if we're doing yoga and what? Would it be meditation or?
Yeah, yeah. So if you're physically like really working hard, okay, now I put it in the group mode. Okay, let's see. How many of you think you fit in any of those categories which cause disease? Do you fit in any of there? Okay, I see one hand.
I
Everyone
don't,
else can raise hand, finger, whatever. No? Okay, some of you, many of you. Okay, all right. So most of you are very healthy, that means. Okay. Okay, that's a good sign. Huh? You can see imbalance, not eating according to, yeah.
feel like it's easier to have a good routine when I was raising children, that I could be more, meals at the same time and things like that. But with living alone, it's not so easy to have a good routine.
Correct. That is true. Some people think that if I'm alone, my routine is better. But actually, sometimes it raises in the opposite way. Okay, when I'm emotional, I eat a lot. Of course, eating is one of the stress busters. Can OJS keep increasing unlimitedly? Wonderful question, right? So we can only eat so much. So you can only eat limited. So OJS you can maximize. Unlimited, I don't know, but you can maximize. I get hungry so much more. Yes, because the body triggers a response. So when you are stressed, what happens is your cortisol goes high. When you are very emotional, your cortisol goes high. Now, cortisol, when you have high cortisol due to high stress, emotional stress, or any stress, it triggers production of glucose. That's why you get hungry. So your body actually breaks. That's why those who are very emotional for a long time, their muscles break down, their body breaks down, because actually your body is breaking down. Your body is converting into glucose. Because when you are emotional and you want to act, you want to think, your muscles all become like over. Actually, we may say depression, but your muscles are overworking or they are underworking. Both same thing. Effects are similar. Your OJS depletion. And then what happens? Your glucose goes high. So that is why one of the biggest causes of biggest disease, fight back to a disease, is meditation, is to forget that stress. Somebody insulted you once, but you can insult yourself every day thinking about it. But that is what is shown in Mahabharata also, right? So one one of the princesses in Mahabharata, she was kidnapped to marry another prince, and he finally said no. And the prince who had kidnapped her, come to kidnap her, she curses him, I'll kill you. But in this life, I can't kill you. So next life, she becomes a eunuch in the Mahabharata war called Shikandi, and then she becomes the cause for killing Bhishma. I mean, it's a long story, but what I'm trying to tell you is something that can carry on. It can even take your life. But in short term, your stress, your anger, your unresolved emotions can eat up your own body. So that is why in Ayurveda, unresolved emotions in the heart are one of the major cause of chronic diseases, because it breaks down your entire, because your whole body and mind is focused on that one emotion, right? But whereas the goal is to raise your consciousness to feel lighter to the level of the soul. You have to let go of everything else. If you hold on, that's it, it becomes heavy. Even materialists understand that. But if you hold on, it makes you heavy. You have to let go. Hmm? So, yeah, okay. Good points. Okay. So I just want to I just don't want to keep on moving the slides, because by the end of it, if we have a short break, just have a short discussion, then you're able to digest that slide. That's my thought process. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. If you have any feedback, let me know. You can type in. I can correct my speed or the way I'm giving it. All right. So the last part of the day. How do you get diseased in Ayurveda? So these are 6 steps. So it's called Shad Kriya Kal. Okay. It's called Shad Kriya Kal. So first is accumulation. Okay. So accumulation means, for example, I did not sleep one night. What happens to you? You become acidic. Your body builds up acid. Correct? Or we had a 3-day program. Okay. And for all 3 days, I was eating like anything. I was eating cake, I was eating pizza, I was having cold drinks, hot drinks, a lot of pasta, a lot of white sugar, a lot of wheat, a lot of heavy foods. Okay. After 3 days, what happens? You have gained weight. You have accumulated a lot. Then what happens? Improper diet, lifestyle, emotions. Okay. Then what happens? Prakopa. So then they aggravate. For example, if a lot of pitta, lot of acids accumulate in your feet, then they become gout, right? If a lot of acids, if a lot of acids get into your digestive system, liver, what happens? It is called um,
Fatty liver?
acidity, right? So acids accumulate and you have acid reflux. So that is accumulation. If you remove it then and there, the accumulation, you're fine. But what happens when the accumulation is there, you get early symptoms. You get acid reflux, you get pain here and there, you wake up randomly in your sleep, you have to pee so many times in the night. So moment you see any of this, you should start acting on it. So the first 3 stages is where you can reverse it. Okay? Prasara, spread. So now, for example, you have acidity in your belly, right? Every time you eat, it triggers an acid reflux. Every food gets converted into acid. Now, after some time, it doesn't get limited to your belly. It starts spreading. So all your body starts feeling burning sensation. You have burning sensation in the feet, in the hands, in the head. This acid flow starts flowing everywhere. Then, sthana samshaya, localization. So then one part, it becomes lodged very deep, deeper tissue. This is the beginning when the disease is beginning to get chronic. You can still reverse it from here. Okay, so that's in my thesis. I was discussing with my professor today, lot of Ayurvedic papers. That's my thesis, Ayurvedic thesis. And that's my next course as well, reversing diabetes. And you can see that if you see the symptoms, start acting on it immediately. That is this stage in Ayurveda. So you can allow. Actually, all this takes, depending on your body. For example, somebody is drinking alcohol. So it takes about 7-8 years, even lesser based on how much he drinks. And then once it gets deeply rooted in one place. So for example, cancer. So you have breast cancer or you have liver cancer. But after some time, it spreads everywhere. The disease clearly develops all the symptoms and then bheda. The disease progresses into complications or chronic stages. Okay. So these are the 6 stages. So the earlier you are able to detect a disease, the earlier you are able to see the symptoms, the earlier you are able to see you are feeling weaker, you don't have enough energy, your reflexes are not proper, your memory is not working well, you need to act on it immediately. Okay, If you don't act on it immediately, what happens? Then it leads to the other stages. So locally it becomes very deep rooted, and once it becomes deep rooted, after some time bheda, it spreads everywhere. So they say, so doctors say, oh, you have cancer of this, let's do radiation on that part and kill the cancer right there so that it doesn't spread all over the body. So that is that stage, right? The fifth and sixth stage. Localized manifestation, and the last stage is the spread. So in Ayurveda, where does fatigue or weakness in body fall? Is it Vyakti or Bheda? See, each stage is not set in stone. It is a transformation. Okay? So it is a mix of Vyakti and Bheda, because the symptoms don't, even if the symptoms are there, for example, my son, for example, you eat some kind of outside ketchup or something like that, immediately there is some symptom like red spots and everything. Now if you don't immediately clear it, what happens? It becomes permanent, it stays there. Suppose you get some allergy, you experience some allergy, you immediately work on it. Okay, you immediately work on that allergy, you try to subdue the symptoms, but eventually what you want to do? You want to reverse the root cause of it, of the allergy. You want to reverse the root cause of the allergy itself, and that you have to clear the ama or the toxin from everywhere. All right, one word I forgot was ama. So in your body, in the digestion, this part, I don't know how I missed it in the slide, but ama means whatever you eat in your body, two things have to happen. Either it digests fully, and whatever digests, it digests, gets absorbed in your body, and the waste is thrown out. You're fine. Now, if it doesn't digest, for example, other day I ate something, it did not suit me, so immediately I had diarrhea or vomiting, boom, it's over, it's gone, it's thrown out of the body. But the most dangerous thing is if your digestion is weak and your body half digests that food, so that becomes toxin. Now your body doesn't know whether to throw it out or absorb it. It doesn't get absorbed because it is half digested. Doesn't get thrown out because it's half digested. So that is called as ama, toxin. So eventually these toxins, ama, is what builds up, which needs to be cleansed. So in Ayurvedic cleansing, you have to, cleansing process, you have to cleanse the toxins first before you improve your digestion, right? And then your digestion will be. So cleansing is the first step in Ayurveda. And tomorrow we are going to talk in detail about how do you cleanse, how do you get back to your reverse the disease process. So talking, weakness, fatigue, so these are all initial symptoms. These are all initial symptoms of the disease, means the disease is taking root. If you don't act immediately, it will become chronic. But by the time you are getting these symptoms, it's already there. It's already there. But you can still work on it. But if you don't work on it, if you just try to get by, it will deepen. Every now and then you're fine, but most of the time you're down. Okay. So how much time it takes to reverse a disease? Generally, once you get the symptoms coming out, it depends how hard you are ready to work. Right? Most people I do work with, they do cleanse, but very few people actually take every step very seriously. Like, I'm not going to eat what doesn't suit me. No speculation. I'm ready to take the risk, right? So if you are very, very strict, usually Ayurveda begins to gain effect in 3 months. In 2 to 3 months, you should begin to see a substantial effect. Even if the disease doesn't go away fully, at least you begin the process of reversing it. So 3 months is what you should give roughly to heal in the Ayurveda. But you have to perceive with the diet, you have to perceive with the balance. Okay? That's the main thing. Okay. All right. Good question. So this was the presentation for today. And I see that many of you answered the questions yesterday. my request to all of you is I'll give you time till the weekend. You should start doing it as well. Start answer day 2. And the questionnaire tells you what is your level of digestion. So today I have 2 quizzes, 2 questionnaires for today's session. And this will give you your strength of your Agni, the strength of your digestion, and your type of digestion. Okay. And how much toxins you have in the body. Because if you have toxins, you are like passing gas all the time, or you are foggy, you are feeling fatigued, you are like continuously weak. So, all these things are symptoms of toxins in the body. And the 2 questionnaires that I have set in the course for day 2, if you go through those questionnaires, log in into your course and go through those questionnaires, go through those quizzes, even if you get low marks, doesn't matter. Just answer the quiz. Just those questions I have designed so that this subject sits in your head. Okay. All right. So I'll just show you where it is. Any questions, comments so far? You can type in, or I'll just quickly show you the. Right. Dana is saying this is me. Yes. All of us, every now and then we do get all I've been through. So if you go to start learning, and you go to the day 2, and this is the quiz. So I took time to prepare this quiz. So digestive questionnaire. So this is to test your level of digestion. So if you are able to answer this, so if you do it by Thursday, when we meet, I'm extending this course by day. By if we can meet on Thursday, then I will collate everyone's responses and give a feedback, general feedback, based on your questions and general response. I'll tell you what response has triggered what imbalance in you. So we can do that Thursday, but you have to answer this questionnaires, okay? And for tomorrow's class, you can click on this and join the class tomorrow. It is set, I guess, yeah. So the first day we had somehow the meeting got duplicated, so we had a problem. The second and third day we have corrected it. So tomorrow you can directly click on this. Actually, this course, I want to, this recorded classes, I want to add it to this course and make it like a free course. Anyone in the future, you can just refer, they can join this. Yeah, is it okay to be a vegetarian if you are full of toxins? Yeah. Vegetarian, you relieve the toxins more easily. But even among vegetarian food, actually, believe it or not, wheat is the biggest toxin, wheat and sugar. Okay. So if you are a vegetarian, avoid wheat, sugar. Wheat and sugar, if you avoid, everything else you can digest. Wheat, sugar, potato. Hmm? So these 3 things. But unfortunately, that's what people eat mostly. So try to avoid it. Okay. All right. Even fruit as sugar depends. If you are pre-diabetic, have fatigue symptoms, then avoid fruits with heavy sugar. Have berries, for example, low glycemic index. So there is something called glycemic index. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about it in detail. So glycemic index is those with low sugar content, things that you can eat. Okay. Do you sell Ayurvedic medicines? Yes, we sell Ayurvedic herbs. Some of them we are starting off, but most we have herbal ghee. So we make herbal ghee, Brahmi, Ashwagandha ghee, and you will learn all about all these products, all these herbs tomorrow. So tomorrow you will learn about basic herbs, basic dietary rules that you can follow at home to regulate, improve. Is wheat worse than rice? Yes, wheat is worse than rice. Okay. People don't realize this. Does fasting help in detoxing? Yes, fasting does. Many people, I did 1 month water fast once. You can do it once in a while. If you do it a lot of times, then you will go to heaven faster. but you have to time your fast. Okay, you should not over fast or overeat. You should balance. Okay, so that is what is called as Chandrayana fasting. So I made a course out of it. So after this course, I'm going to announce that Chandrayana course and the Ayurvedic advanced course tomorrow and Thursday. Their ghee is fantastic. Yes, our ghee is fantastic. Thank you. So some of you already buy our ghee. So yeah, craving of sugar. So there is a herb called gymnema. Okay, if you have craving for sugar, then there is a herb called Gymnema sylvestre.
That's it.
Yeah. So get that, take 2 a day. That's enough. Hmm? Is fasting safe if you are a chronic undereater and don't have done it? You have to do cleansing first. You have to do Ayurvedic cleansing first. How to get that? You can get it on Amazon. Gymnema sylvestre. That is for liver imbalance, prediabetes, and diabetes. Ekadashi Nirjala was good for detoxification, of course. Actually, 11th day of the moon, Ekadashi. I have a video. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a video called Ekadashi. And I've explained that actually on the day of Ekadashi, 11th day of the moon cycle, Aristotle said if you overeat on that day until the new moon and the full moon, then you become lunatic. The word lunatic came from there. So Ekadashi, one is supposed to fast. Gymnema. Gymnema. Let me put it.
I think so.
Gym.
Yeah.
Gymnema.
Gymnema.
Yeah, Gymnema. Yeah, I put it there. Yeah. Please spell that sugar craving thing. Yeah, Gymnema. I just put it there. Can you type out what you just recommend to take? Oh yeah, I typed that out. Yeah. Okay. The Gymnema. I take it once in a while. It's very helpful. I regularly take magnesium. Magnesium, if you exercise a lot, I do lots of yoga. So, and my daughter came up with a 10-minute ab exercise, like very intense. So we have all been doing it. So we take that as well. So the magnesium becomes very important. Okay. How can you explain how wheat is most toxic? So in the 1950s, they wanted more wheat. They wanted to solve the world's hunger problem. So that is what happens with these communists. They want to solve people's problems in a communist way. Hmm? So what happened is that the wheat, when you when they wanted to overgrow the wheat, like one plant, but they wanted 10 times more wheat production out of it, which they were able to do by altering the gene. Uh, so when they did that, the wheat actually began to fall over. So they strengthened the stem. In the process of doing that, they killed the protein in that. And what happened was one of the enzymes, which is the sugar, I forget the name right now, which is the carb enzyme, that got spiked. So basically, when you're eating anything, it has, like when you eat pea, so they say pea protein. So peas have protein, carb, like a very good mix. So God doesn't give you protein isolate. God gives you a whole germ. So the wheat germ became completely toxic with the became completely toxic with the carb. So now when you eat the sugar, and secondly, what happened is because it was GMO, they have certain type of pesticides. In fact, one lady in Las Vegas, she was given 1.5 million because she got ate peanuts and she had an anaphylactic shock and she became a, what do you call, paralytic. Paralytic, yeah. She got paralytic. And she got paralytic. And because of that, she got 1.5 million. The reason I checked why peanuts, I never heard in India that peanuts give you allergy or, you know. So the peanuts are grown in the field where wheat is grown. as a rotation crop. So that is why everything that goes into the wheat, into the ground, goes into the peanuts, directly into the peanut. So that's why peanuts are so toxic today. So you can imagine how toxic wheat is. So wheat doesn't cause the problem. It is the what they have done to it and the amount of toxins that they add. There's a book called Wheat Belly on Amazon, written by that doctor who did the original research. And he said that eating this is worse than eating meat. In the sense, in meat, they add a lot of nitrates when they process the meat. Processed meat. Wheat belly, yeah. So processed meat also, when they add so much of those chemicals, the chemicals cause the problem, not the meat. Meats increase passion, sattva rajas, but the the toxins, the chemicals, they cause the bigger problem. Right. So that's how the wheat story is. Okay, the question, how can I retake Prakriti test? You can refresh the screen and try. Because right now the course is kind of locked. I'm not able to reset some things. So you can refresh the screen, go back to the screen and refresh it, and try it. That's one option. If not, I would suggest you can use another email, get into the quiz and redo it, redo the whole thing. That's fine as well, because you can just use another email in case some of these are not working when you refresh the screen. Because right now what happened is we were adding a plugin before, just the day before the course, to enhance the effect, and it locked the course. So I have to repair it, but I have to wait for the course to end to kind of repair it. So I'm not able to repair right now. So refresh the screen, like click on it and log out, log in again, try it. If that doesn't work, please, I would suggest you re-enroll. Just use another email, and you can enroll, and you can answer it again. I hope that works out. Yeah. Okay. Maybe time to give up grains. Yeah. Yeah. I rarely eat grains. Like today, my wife made idli dosa very rarely. Once in 10 days we make, and it was amazing. So I eat, but generally I eat mostly dal, sprouts, like that. Grains are the heaviest to digest. Huh? Okay, Arjun, you had a question?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you for the explanation. My question is, when I do my share of preaching this no wheat and no sugar, so many of the Indian students, they ask that, we have been eating chapati since childhood.
Mm-hmm.
How can we just give it up? So I was thinking that maybe if they get the wheat kernels, the wheat grain, and then grind it,
That
by
is
the
one option. Second is go to alternate flours. Like today, you get quinoa flour, you get millet flour, you get so many other options. Like we make jowar roti, hmm?
okay.
Jowar roti, bajra roti. The state with the highest amount of cancer in India is Punjab, because
Mhm.
they grew the most wheat there. The way it is, the most, they use a lot of pesticides, plenty of pesticides. Buckwheat is good, yeah. So give them alternate flours. There's no workaround for wheat. By the way, wheat is not so toxic in Europe,
Right.
because in Europe they grow that their variety of wheat is different. It's still the old one. They did not everyone modified it. So that is why in Italian pizza, pasta. Actually, there are so many videos I saw. You can Google on YouTube. You can Google. People go to Europe, spend 6 months, eat the same thing. That is pizza, pasta. They don't get fat. As soon as you come back to the US and eat the same thing, you put on weight like anything. So there is a difference. If you look at, there is so many online things also. If you look at orange juice or something, some cookie in Europe, it has maybe 5 ingredients. In US, it has 51 ingredients in a cookie. 51. Right? This acid, this color, that color, for what? God knows. For example, you pick up bread. You have 51 ingredients there. And there were so many things. I was thinking, what is it? Folic acid, this, that, so many. They are all thinking. Actually, bread after one day, they found that it has no energy. It has no like after one day, bread is dead basically. You can only eat fresh bread. They found that after 24 hours, a bread has no prana. There is no nutrients.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
that is why they started adding iron, B2, B3, B4. You see, all those are B2, B3, B4 vitamins. Okay, why are they so many additions? Because they think that, but they thought if we add this iron, this, that, but you cannot add something and make it digest in your body. They don't digest. That's why the bread today, if you eat one wheat bread, your belly becomes overfull, bloated. You eat one sandwich, you are full because of all these ingredients. Hmm? Gluten. We get something like a gluten-free bread, millet. Hmm? And that is like very light. It is very light. Bajra roti is hard to digest. So you have to see which one suits you, like millet or quinoa roti. There are many different flours. So that's the thing, Ayurveda. You have to see which one suits you. But wheat is not good. That's the point I'm trying to say. Other ones, there are so many options you see according to your nature, which is this. Like jowar roti is the best for me. I like jowar roti. Hmm? So many people. Isn't roasting so many people? Okay. Isn't roasting seeds like peanuts good instead of sprouts? I don't get the question. Sprouts are good. Tomorrow we'll discuss the diet plan in detail, but sprouts are good. Uh, yeah, saute. You cannot eat sprouts just like that. You have to saute them. Roasting peanuts, yeah, we roast. If you saute nuts or soak them, they digest well for sure. Makes a lot of sense. Is Indian wheat atta still good? No, it is still the same. It is even worse. Okay. So Indian wheat is the same as American wheat. So India and America have the same percentage of pre-diabetic population because of the wheat. Everybody thinks wheat. Just Google this guy. BM Agde. There's a video of him. He's saying I wish I could have shared the video, but anyway, it'll take a little bit of time. So he's asking these ladies, because he's the dean of a medical college. He's asking those ladies, Amma, are you eating chapati? Are you diabetic? Are you on insulin? Are you eating chapati? Did they tell you eating chapati is good? And the ladies say yes. He said the gluten in the wheat destroys the pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas, reducing your insulin efficiency. So that is why if you are diabetic, you will remain diabetic. They don't want you to change. And he said, they know this, that the wheat gluten destroys your pancreas. Today, what has happened is because of so much refined grains, refined carbs, the wheat is so refined that only gluten is predominant, which kills your pancreas. Okay, what about durum wheat? It's all the wheat varieties are almost the same. So that is why alternative millet, quinoa, or like ragi or jowar, bajra, you can try any of that.
So
You
Prabhu,
can
no
mix
rava,
it a little bit. Huh?
So rava is when we say durum wheat, that is rava, right?
Yeah, rava is also very high sugar.
Oh, okay.
Very high, yeah. These are all very heavy. That's why in India, if you look at it in India now, pre-diabetic population is almost 30%, 30 to 35%. Most Indians have a belly. Have you noticed? In fact, if you go to Dr. Berg's videos, he says one of his videos, why do Indians have a big belly? I was very embarrassed to see that. But if you go anywhere after 40, a belly is common. Agree? Hmm? So that the belly is not a good thing. It's a sign of weak belly. It's a Canadian wheat type, and again, same issues like the US wheats. Right, the durum wheat. Okay. All right. That's quite a discussion, and I hope you got. I will email the what do you call it? the presentation from today. May give me like an hour. Then I will email it to all of you. You can start answering the quiz. It's open book, so you can Google it. It's all available on Google. But only thing is you have to make sense out of it and understand your level of Agni. So, like we discussed, we are going to meet on Thursday. Tomorrow, we will do the how to reverse this disease, diet, lifestyle, generic according to Ayurveda. Dosha wise, also we'll try to cover, and what our products, our ghee, everything does. Okay, and then Thursday we'll discuss your results. Okay, how many of you answered what to expect from the quiz, what you see, what is from the results that you see, what can you infer from that self-assessment? Because you can keep taking these quizzes after every 3-4 months and see if you have improved or got worse. Okay, so that is why this time to time you can self-assess. So tomorrow on Thursday I will collect the results and we'll do a self-assessment. Okay, and for the weekend I'll give you the certification. Okay. All right. So thank you all so much. Quite a bit of questions and topics we covered. And tomorrow, like I showed you, you log into the portal, click on day 3 that and click. I'm trying to make the website work so you can try to log in from there. I'll send you the direct Zoom link as well. All of you got the email, right, that I sent? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Got it? Yeah. Okay. Everybody got it. Okay. Because this is our first course with the website. So I'm just trying to make sure everything's working. Okay. Okay. So thank you all so much. And I hope you enjoyed it and it was knowledgeable and you would like to learn more. And if you have any questions, feedback, do feel free to email me back. And tomorrow we meet at the same time. Try to answer as many questionnaires and we will discuss. Thank you, Mataji. And we will try to discuss on Thursday your answers, and then we can maybe we can have a special session, just question answers, and we can have the certificate ceremony. Okay, we'll discuss that later. Okay, thank you all so much. See you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna. Let me go to the. All right. See you all.